Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. We'll start this lesson with a writing, this session with a writing exercise that we've done before. We are to connect the letters as you can see in the example. The correct way, we're to read it first and then connect them. So, for example here, Munir, Munir. We would read it and then connect it the way it should be connected, following the rules of the connecting and non-connecting letters. So pause your video and do them. Once you're done, we'll go through them together. I will not write them out because it's too difficult for me to write, but I will show you the correct form of how it should be written. So pause your video, and once you're done, we'll go through them together. Now we'll go through them together. As I said, I can't write it out with you because it's too difficult to write on the computer, but I will explain how it should be written. And you can see the typed form of it here. Of course, the typed form isn't the same as the writing form, but it's to give you an idea of how they should have been written. So the first word was Samir. The sin should connect to the meme, because the sin is a connector. The meme should connect to the ya, and that's the ya's connecting form, connecting to the ra with the fatha on top of the sin. Because the ya is a connector, it should connect to the ra. The meme is a connector, it should have connected to the ya, and the sin is a connector, it should have connected to the meme. Samir, you should have read it and wrote it properly, following the rules of the connecting and non-connecting letters. The next word was Tursuna. Tursuna. The ta should have connected to the ra, as you can see here. Because the ta is a connector and that's its connected form. The sin shouldn't have connected to the ra because because the ra doesn't connect the letters after it. The sin should have connected to the noon because the sin is a connector. It connects the letters after it, and the noon should have connected to the alif even though the alif is not a connector because the noon connects the letters after it. We should have put the dhamma on top of the ta, the sukoon on the ra, the dhamma on the sin. That would make it full. That would make it correct there. The next one, we should have read Maktabuna, which means our office. The meme should have connected to the kaf. And I showed you how to write to connect the meme to the kaf, the form to write it, and I'll show you again after we go through this one, this word. The kaf should have connected to the ta should have connected to the ba should have connected to the noon, and the noon should have connected to the alif, because they're all connectors, except the alif. It's not a connector, but since the letters are coming before it, and they're all connectors, they can connect to it. We should have put the fatha on top of the meme, the sukoon on top of the kaf, sukoon on top of the kaf, the fatha on the ta, the dhamma on the ba, Maktabuna. Okay, now we'll go to the at the end I'll show you how to connect, and just to review how to connect the kaf to letters before it, how to get to this form, the method of how to get to this form, the meme and the kaf. I'll show you at the end of these 4 words. The next word, Darsukum, which means your studies. The dal should have not connected to the ra because dal is not a connector. The sin should have came after the ra, not connecting to it because it's not a connector. The kaf again should have connected to the sin in that form, its connecting form, followed by the meme. We should have put the fatha on top of the dal, the sukoon on the ra, the dhamma on the sin, the dhamma on the kaf, and a sukun on the meme. Although it's not here, it should be. See, as you can see, it's too difficult to write by computer, so that's why I'm not doing that. Now I'll show you how we should have wrote the meme followed by the kaf. Okay, so the meme, as we said, we go straight line up like a 45 degree or something like that. Then we go like that, although it should be actually more straight. Let me just put a line on the bottom so we can get a better idea of how it should be done. Okay. So we said the meme, we go like a 45 degree line upward, we bring it back, curve it, turn it, I mean. Okay, so then we go like a large dal, as we said, for the kaf. And then once we connect, say for example, I don't remember what was after the, let's see. Okay, so say the ta comes after the kaf, we just continue on. We don't have to stop. And the ba is after the ta, continue. Don't need to stop. And the noon, continue still. And the alif, all the way. You can continue all the way to the end of the word. Then we put all the dots that are required. So the ta here, 2 dots. Or bigger dots. Ta, the ba here, the noon, that there. The ba here and the noon here. Then we go back and we connect, or we finish the last part of the kaf, which would be the straight line connection down to make it to its connecting form. So that would have been the method of how to write the kaf. As a review, we went through this already. I'm just reviewing it again. We have now the next 4 rows. Do them and then continue on. Once you're done, we'll go through them together. Now we'll go through the words together. The first word, madrasatuka, madrasatuka, which means your school, referring to a male. A male, yani, when we say ka at the end, madrasatuka, it's referring to a male. Or if we say madrasatuki, or yeah, that's referring to a female. مدرستك. So the written form, as you can see, the meme should connect it to the dal with the fatha on top of the meme, followed by the ra with the dhamma on top of the dal. And remember, we said the dhamma is what? What's the dhamma? Or not the dhamma, the sukoon, I mean. What does the sukoon do? It shows that there's no short vowels on the word. And then the ra followed by the fatha, not connecting to the sin. The sin with the fatha and the ta with the dhamma on top, which makes the sound oo. So med ra sa tu ka, and the kaf with the fatha on top. Med meme fatha med ra sa tu ka, madrasatuka. The next word, makanukum, makanukum, which means your place. So meme followed by the kaf with the fatha, and this is the kaf is connecting form. We wouldn't make it just like this, connecting it to it like that. We would have to change it to make it to its connecting form so the writing can be written more smoothly. Otherwise, it won't be written smoothly. Then followed by the alif, kaf followed by the alif, followed by the noon, but not connecting to the alif because the alif is not a connector, with a dhamma on top of the noon, making the sound oo. So nu, nuk, nukum. The kaf with the dhamma on top, with the meme following the kaf. So Mecca nukum. The next word, kitabaki, 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 which means your book, feminine, referring to a female. So when we say kitabaki, it's referring to a female. Ka, masculine. Ki, feminine. Kitabaki, referring to a female. So how do we write it? The kaf and its connecting form with the kasra, which makes the sound ki, followed by the ta, connecting to the ta because the kaf is a connector, followed by the alif, connecting to the alif because the ta connects to letters after it because it's a connector. That's the ta and its connecting form, followed by the alif, not connecting to the alif, the ba, because the alif is not a connector. We put the fatha on top of the ba, making the sound ba, with the kasra on the kaf, making the sound ki. Kitabaki, your book, feminine, referring to a female. The next word, durusi, durusina, durusina, which means our lessons. Durusina, which refers to our lessons. Just a note, we'll probably go through this more in another course, more of a grammar type of course. as we said, saying, for example, like here, madrasatuka, it's referring to a male. The ka is referring to a male. Something that's some kind of it belongs to you, or it's and it has a relation with you, connection with you, and it's a ka, it's referring to a male, and it's a ki, it's referring to a female. So now we said this word is durusina, the dal followed by the ra, not connecting to the ra. Doesn't connect because the dal is not a connector. The ra followed by the waw. Does it connect to the waw, the ra? No, because the ra is not a connector. The waw, does it connect to the letter after it's seen? No, because it's not a connector. And the noon, the seen followed by the noon connects because the seen is a connector, and the alif connects to the noon connects to the alif because the noon is a connector. Now we have two last rows before we will move on to lesson 3 in our book that we are studying from. Here are the next 2 rows. Do them, and once you're done, we'll go through them together. Now we'll go through the words together. The first word, sardine. Sardine. Sardine, which means sardine. As in English, sardine. Sardine, that's the Arabic. So the sin connects to the ra, as you can see here. Because why does the sin connect to the ra? Because the sin is a connector. Followed by the dal. The ra followed by the dal. It does not connect. Why? Because the ra is not a connector. The ya in its connecting form, not connecting to the dal. Why? Because the dal is not a connector. And then the noon at the end in its standard form, because there's nothing coming after it. Sardine. We can put the short vowels. Sar. Well, it doesn't have to be that big, but sar, the sukoon, which means what? We went through this very a lot, many times. So what does it mean? The sukoon means what? It means there's no short vowel on the letter. So it's not sara or saru or sari, which would make it having a short vowel. It means there's no short vowel on it. The next word, bekri. Bekri. Bekri, which is Bekri. It's a name. The ba in its connected form, followed by the, what's this letter? The kaf. So we put the ba with the fatha, followed by the kaf. The ba with the fatha, followed by the kaf, followed by the ra. Why does the ra connect to the kaf? Because the kaf is a connector, connects to letters coming after it or before it. As long as the letter before it is a connector. Every letter connects to letters before it, as long as the letter before it is a connector. The ra, not connecting to the ya. Why is that? It's because the ra doesn't connect to letters after it. It's not a connector. So Bakri. And the ya would be in its standard form because it's not connected to by anything before it, and it's not connecting to anything after it. So that would be the conclusion of this lesson. We'll move on to lesson 3 in the book that we're using, the book Arabic Reading and Writing Made Easy by Sheikh Bilal Phillips. So the first word that we'll go through 2 or 3, probably all 3 letters, as you can see in front of you in this session 7. We'll go through all these new letters: the letter fa, the letter sheen, the letter kha. All these letters are connectors. As you can see, they're connecting form. The fa, here's connecting form. The sheen, here's its connecting form. And the kha, here's its connecting form. The first letter that we'll take is the letter fa. As you can see in front of you now, the letter fa, standard form, its connecting form. The Arabic fa corresponds to the F in English, so the sound of the fa is the same as the F in English. F. Same thing. It is written like a backwards E, whose tail is stretched, whose tail extends along the line with an upward curve at the end, similar to the ba and the ta. The ending of it here is similar to the ba and the ta. It should not curve below the line. Its connecting form is identical to its separate form, except that the later half of the letter is deleted. So its connecting form is similar, identical to its standard form. Here's its connecting form, except that the tail is cut off at the end, partly cut off. So I'll show you how it should be written. So here you can see the steps of how to write the fa. I'll demonstrate it. Curve at the curved tail at the end, and the dot on the top. Then its connecting form. That is its connecting form. I'll demonstrate how to write it. As I said, it's very difficult to write on the computer. Then the dot on the top. The tail, cut. As we said, it's cut off. So I'll write it again so you can see. Tails cut off, and the dot on the top. One more time. As you can see, the letter is very easy to write. It's not difficult. Of course, it should be more on the line. when the fa comes in the middle of a word, the loop, or you could say the head here, is modified. So the writing will flow more smoothly. So there's a extension part to connect to the head here, instead of just as its standard form, just like this. Instead of just like that, then its standard form would be, when coming from another letter before it, it would have an extension to the head in order to keep the writing smooth, as you can see in front of you, as I just demonstrated. So here's the steps, and it's exactly as you just saw me do it. First, very similar, if not exact, because as I said, it's not easy to write on the computer. Now we'll have practice lesson. We'll move on to our practice assignment. Same as every time. Pause, do it, then we'll go through them. You don't need to write it in English on the top anymore, just in, so just read it. I'll do the first one with you. Farsu. Here, the letter fa, the one we just did. Farsu. That's the fa in its connecting form, connecting to the ra, because we said the fa is a connector, it connects to any letter after it. Farsu, so you just write it twice and read them all before you write them, and then we'll go through them together. Okay, now we'll go through them together. I won't be writing it because there's no need for me to do that this time. You, of course, have to write them in Arabic twice. You should have did that and read them, because this is a reading and writing course. The more we practice, the better we will be at reading and writing, and it will be more smooth and easier for us to do. Start with the first row. First, or the second word, we did the first word. Second word, fikra. Third word, fatki. The ta with the sukoon. At, not a ta or a tu or a t. That would mean it had a short vowel on it. It's just fatki. Fardu. Second row, here's the noon in its connecting form. Nufura. Nufura. Remember the oo, long oo. Nufura. Ra. Nufura. Safira. 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 Nifasu. Nifasu. Kafiri. Kafiri. Okay, now we'll go on to the third row and fourth row. So do them, then we'll go through them once you're done. Pause, and then we'll go through them once you're done. Okay, you should have paused it and did them. We'll go through them now together. First word of the third row. Kusufa. Kusufa. Nasfi. Nasfi. The sukoon on top of the sin, meaning there's no short vowel. It's not, if it had a short vowel, it could have been like a fatha. It would have been nasafi or nasufi or nasifi. It's nasfi. Next. Nukafu. 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 Remember the long A, the long alif. Nukafu. The next word. Katafu. Katafu. Not katafu, because that would make the fatha alif. The long A is katafu. Katafu. Not u, just katafu. Or not katafu, just katafu. Katafu. Short vowels. The fourth row. Ka fu ra. Now we read it smoothly. Kafura. Kafura. The second word. Farsu. Farisu. There's a kasra here, so it makes it ri, not r. Farisu. 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 Here's the fa in its connecting form in the beginning of the word. Here's the fa in the middle of a word. Here's the fa again in the middle of a word. And here's the fa in the middle of a word, but separate on its own because it doesn't connect to the alif. Because why don't we connect to the alif? Because the alif is not a connector. Nothing connects after it. So, third word. Munafikina. Munafikina. Kina. Okay. Munafisuna. Munafisuna. Okay. Now we'll do dictation. I'd just like to mention that the more we practice, the better we will become at reading and writing Arabic. I studied the reading and writing, this very course, and in the university, similar to what I'm teaching, very similar to what I'm teaching. I started it only 3 months ago, or about 4 months ago, in October, around October. So I, as you are, a beginner in the reading and writing. So the more we practice the reading and writing, the better we will become at it. The smoother we will be able to read. One good way to learn the language is to teach it. If you feel that you have sufficient knowledge of the course that you studied and took, you may be able to teach it. not necessarily for a fee. You would likely need to get the education at a university to be able to charge a fee for it. I mean, you would have to learn that education at a university in order to charge. At an institution, you may be able to teach, but it's less likely and less possible, I would say. But anyway, we will go on to dictation. We have 4 words for dictation. So we have 4 words for dictation. The first word, farasu. Farasu. I'll read each word 3 times and give you time to write each. And I'll read them slowly, or the 3rd time at a decent pace, at a nearly normal pace. Farasu. Farasu. The second word, nufura. 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 The third word, kusufa. 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 The fourth word, kafura. Kafura. Now remember to listen for the long and short vowels. Kafura. Okay, now we'll go through them together. Okay, the first word of dictation was farasu. Farasu. The fa connecting to the ra in its connecting form, because why? Because the fa is a connector. It's connecting to the ra with the fatha on top of the fa and the ra. Farasu. And then the dhamma on top of the sin in its standard form, not connecting to the ra. Why is that? Because the ra is not a connector. So it's in its standard form because it cannot connect to the ra. Ra. Okay, the next word of dictation was نفورا نفورا نفورا. Okay, so what's this letter here? The noon. And this on top of the noon is what? The dhamma. Nu. And this is the fa. Nuf. Nuf. And here's is the what? What's this here? It's the wow. Nufu. And then here the ra. Nufura. Should be written, you should have wrote it like this, exactly like this. The wow doesn't connect, so it cannot connect to anything after it. That's why the ra is separate. The fa is a connector, so it connects to the wow. The noon is a connector, so it connects to the fa in its connecting form, which is this form. What you see in front of you is its form. The fa, that's its form. Okay? We'll go on to the third word. The third word of dictation was kusufa. Kusufa. What's this letter here? The kaf. Ku. This dhamma. Ku. Su. Fa. Kusufa. The kaf should have been in its connecting form, connecting to the sin. The sin should have connected to the wow. Why? Because the sin is a connector, it connects to any letter after it. The wow shouldn't have connected to the fa. Why? Because the wow is not a connector. And the fa should have been in a standard form because it's not connected to or connecting to anything, so it's in its standard form with the fatha on top. Kusufa. You should have been able to recognize the ooh. Kusufa, not kusufa or kusifa. Kusufa. It's kusufa. Okay? And the last word of dictation. Kafura. Kafura. The kaf should have connected to the alif. Ka in its connecting form, and the fa should have connected to the waw. The fa should have been in its connecting form because it's connecting to something. Same with the kaf. And the ra shouldn't have connected to the waw. Why is that again? We explained this many times. What's the reason? Because the waw is not a connector. And we should have had the fatha on top of the ra. Kafura. We should have been able to recognize the and the oo. Kafura. Okay, now we'll go on to our next letter. Inshallah, we'll take 3 letters this session. The next letter is the sheen. The sheen, as you can see in front of you on the screen, this is its standard form and its connecting form here. The Arabic sheen is pronounced like the sh or the sh in the English word shop. It is written like seen with the addition of the 3 dots. So it is written exactly the same as the letter we already took in the beginning of our course. The third letter that we studied in the beginning of our course is written the same. It's like the it's like the scene, except with the 3 dots on top. As just a note, I noticed that since I recently started to study the Arabic, like you, the reading and writing part at least, the language part, speaking I'm fairly good at it, but the reading and writing, I recently started to take the course, this course, and completed it at the university, similar to this course. I'm teaching it in the same method, similar method as they did, very similar. I noticed that it is easier for me to relate to the student because whatever I felt during the course, I still remember it. the feelings or the questions, so I can answer them and instruct them and teach them and make it clear and clarify it, as opposed to if I was to wait years before I taught this course. Say, for example, after I finished my BA in Islamic Study degree in nearly 4 years from now. So, about 4 years. Whatever I felt during the course, I would have likely forgot those kind of questions. I wouldn't have them anymore. As opposed to now, I still may have them, or at least remember them from then, so I can teach it and explain it to the student, because I had similar questions. Because I was recently taking the course. So we'll just go on. We'll have 4 rows of practice with the sheen. Okay, now we'll go through, or now you do your practice, pause your video, and then we'll go through them together. Pause your video, do them, then we'll go through them together. Okay, so you should have paused your video now and did them. If you didn't, make sure not to continue without doing them, because in order to advance in this, you need to practice by doing these practice assignments. We'll go through them together now. You should have did them before continuing, as I said many times before. The first word, sharifu, sharifu. Remember the e, fu, sharifu. What's this letter here? Sh, shar, ifu. Shamsi, shamsi, which means sun, or shamsi, I think it means umbrella, or similar to the word umbrella. Sharifu, sharifu is a word. It's like somebody kind of like generous, kind of, I guess, something like that. The third word, shukura, shukura. Shurbi, shurbi, which means my drink. Second row, nushura, kashifa. Here you see the fatha before the alif. So what does that do? Does it make it extra long? No, it doesn't. Or a double. No, it doesn't do that. It's just in the Arabic language, especially you could say maybe in classical text, when there's an alif, they put the short vowel before it. It doesn't make any sound. It's just showing that there's an alif, and we already know there's an alif, so actually it doesn't really do anything. It's just the way they would write the words. If there's a long vowel, they would put the fatha and the alif, making it ah, and without it, it's still ah. So it really doesn't do anything when it's followed by an alif, because it's just showing us that the alif is long, and we already know that the alif is long without it. This is just, I guess, the way in old classical Arabic they would write. I had a confusion with that when I was taking the course. So this word is kashifa, 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 kashifa. Fashari, fashari, minsharu, minsharu. Now we'll do the last two rows. So do these last two rows, then we'll do them together. Once you did them, we'll go through them together. Okay, now we'll go through them. Farshu, kabshi, shasha, mishmishu, mishmishu, farrasha, fumusha, shumusha. I said fu. It's obviously not fa, it's a sheen. Shumu sa. This is a sin. I said sha. That's wrong. Shumu sa. Shumusa. See, this is a sheen. Sheen. This is a sin. You don't want to mistake them. Sha, sa. Shumusa. Shumusa. Sha, sa. Shumusa. It's kind of a tongue twister. Next word. Nashiru. 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 She. Shiru. Nashiru. Noon, alif, na. This letter is what? The sheen. Nashiru. Next. Sharabi. Sharabi, which means my drink. Sharabi. Okay, now we'll do dictation. We have 4 words for dictation. Four words for dictation. The first word. Sharifu. 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 Second word. Nushuru. 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 Remember to listen for the long and short vowels. The third word. Farshu. 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 The last word. Firashu. Firasha. 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 Okay, now we'll go through them together so you can check your answers. The first word was Sharifu. Sharifu. You should have noticed the E, the ya, long, yeah, the long E. Shar, not shar. So you should have noticed the short vowel fatha. Shar. Here's the sin in its connecting form, connecting to the ra. The ra doesn't connect to anything after it, so the ya is by itself, or the ya is not connecting to it, and it's the ya is connecting to the fa with the dhamma on top of the fa. The ya in its connecting form because it's connecting to the fa after it. The fa in its standard form because nothing is connecting after it, or the fa is not completely in its standard form, but there's nothing after it, so it's not in its connecting form. Modified connecting form when something is coming after it. Sharifu. Second word. Nushuru. 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 The noon with the dhamma. Nu. The sheen with the wow. Shu. The ra with the dhamma. Ru. Nushuru. You should have been able to distinguish the short vowel nu instead of nushuru. It was nushuru. Okay. The noon here in its connecting form, connecting to the sheen. The noon here in its connecting form, connecting to the sheen. Following the sheen is the wow in its form, not connecting to anything after it because the wow is not a connector, and the ra in its standard form because it doesn't connect to letters after it, and it's not connected to by the letter before it because the letter before it is a non-connector wow. And then the dhamma on top of the ra. Nu, the noon with the dhamma. Shura. Third word. Farshu. The fa connecting to the ra in its connecting form with the fatha, and the sheen in its standard form with the dhamma, and the sukoon on the ra, meaning there's no short vowel on it. The sheen in its standard form because the letter before it is non-connected ra, and there's nothing coming after it. The fourth word. Firasha. Firasha, which means my blankets, or blankets, or his blankets. Firasha. Fir. Fir. The fa with the, what's this here? What's it called? The kasra. The fa with the kasra with the ra. Following it. The fa connecting to the ra because the ra is a connector with the kasra. Then the alif not connecting to the ra because the ra is not a connector. Then the sin not connecting to the alif because the alif is not a connector, so the sin is on its own in its standard form because there's nothing coming after it, and it cannot connect to the letter before it because the letter before it is alif, the non-connector. Same with the ra here. The alif is not connected to it because the ra is a not connector. So firasha, and here the fatha sha. Firasha. We'll move on to our last letter of this session, the letter kha. The next letter is the letter kha. Here's its standard form, here's its connecting form. The letter kha does not have an English equivalent. There is no letter like it in English. There's no sound like it in the English language. Kha. It does not occur in many other languages either. The letter kha differs from the kaf. kha is breathed while in the case of kaf the air stream is completely stopped then released. Ka, ka, kha, kha. The kha is breathed while in the case of kaf the air stream is completely stopped then released. Ka, ka, kha. Kha, the kha is breathed. Okay? It is produced by narrowing the passageway between the back of the tongue and the velum enough to create friction as the air passes through. Okay, so now I'll show you. It's kind of like when you clear your throat. You you make the passageway between the back of your tongue narrow. Yani, like kind of like when you clear your throat. So it sounds like ha ha ha. It may take practice for you to do because it's not usually in the English language or many other languages. I'll show you its standard form of how to write it and its connecting form. Here's its standard form and the steps of how to do it, and here's its connecting form, and I will write them both so you can see how it should be written. So the form of how to write the kha, its standard form, I'll demonstrate it now in front of you, inshallah. As you can see in the steps, we start above the line. Obviously, it's gonna be unlikely that I'll do it exactly as it should be because I'm doing it on a computer. It's not easy, but I will do my best. We make a kind of a squirvy, curvy line. Then we go under the line and then back up. Obviously, it's not that neat. That is because, as I said, it's not easy on the computer. Try it again. Curvy kind of line. This letter may take some practice if you're not any used to it. It's not that difficult, but it may take some practice. The head of the letter is written as a wavy line, as I said, from the left to right, as I demonstrated. Left to right. Above the line. Well, most of the tail is written like a large C below the line. So then, continue on like a large C below the line. And then we put the dot on top. Okay, now I will show you the connecting form of the kha. Okay, connecting form. The line part is, or the curvy head part, line part on the top is the same pretty much steps as you would do for the standard form. We just from left to right curvy line, and then we rest it on the line with the dot on top. That's its connecting form. Okay, I can do it again if you would like. Actually, the line should be more curvy. The dot on the top. So now you should do the next 2 rows. We'll go through it once you're done. Pause, and then we'll go through it together once you're done. Okay, now we'll go through them together. Kharufa, kharufa, which means goat or lamb. Kharufa, kharif, khariru, khariru, khafiri, kabira, khabira, which means the knowledgeable, or and he has some knowledge of something. Shakhiru, 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 Bukhari, 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 Kha, Bukhari, Bukhari, which is, I don't know if this is the correct spelling, but if you know the book Bukhari, the hadith book, Bukhari, 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 Munkhara, Munkhara. So as you can see, the kha needs practice to pronounce. Munkhara, Mukhtaru, Mukhtaru, Bukhari, Bukhari, Shakhiru. Okay, now we'll go to the next 2 rows. Here's the 3rd row. Once you're done, we'll go through them together. Okay, now we'll go through them together. Should have did them. We'll go through them together now. مشروخي, مشروخي, برباخو, 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 من فاخ, من فاخ, شمراخي, Shimrachi. As we said, most of these are not words. Now we'll go on to the 3rd row. Here's the 4th row. You should have did it. So before continuing on, you should do it. And then we'll do them together once you're done. So pause your video before continuing on, so we can do them together. Or so you can do it before we do them together. First word, we'll go through them together. You should have did it before going on twice. Write it in Arabic and read it once. Makhafu, kharaba, sakhifi. Sakhif is actually the way it should be. Sakhif, sakhifi, The kasra is not really needed. Saqifi, it means silly or like a fool, acting foolish, yani like silly. Manakhu, manakhu. Okay, now we'll do dictation. Now we'll go on to dictation. The first word, kharufa. Kharufa. Remember to listen for the long and short vowels. Kharufa. Second word, shakhiru. 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 Third word, مشروخ. 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 The fourth word, مخاف. 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 Now we will go through them. First word was kharufa, should be written just like that. Kha connecting to the ra, followed by the waw, not connecting to the ra because the ra not connector. Follow the waw followed by the fa, not connecting to the waw because the waw is not a connector. The kha with the fatha, khahr, kharuf, and then the fatha on top of the fa. The next word, shakhiru, written just like that. The sheen connecting to the kha, kha connecting to the ya, and the ya connecting to the ra, because all these three letters here, the sheen, the kha, the ya, are connectors. They connect to letters after them. Sha, the sheen with the fatha, and the ra with the dhamma. Shakhiru. Sha, the sheen with the fatha, followed by the kha connecting to the sheen, connecting to the sheen because the sheen is a connector. The kha connecting to the ya because the kha is a connector, so it connects the letters after it, and the ya connecting to the ra because the ya is a connector. Next word, mashrukhu. Mashrukhi. It's actually, I told you khu, so there should be a dhamma on the top, not a fatha as it is here, or kasra, sorry, as it is here. Mashru, mashruhu. There should have been a dhamma here. Obviously, there's a kasra. That's wrong. You were supposed to put a dhamma because the word was mashruhu, khu, not khi. I read it for you. Mashruhu. So we put the dhamma here. The meme followed by the fatha, ma, followed by the sheen because connecting to the meme. The meme connecting to the sheen because the meme is a connector, connects to letters after it. Mesh. The sheen connecting to the ra because the sheen is a connector, connects to letters after it. Mashru. The ra not connecting to the waw because the ra is not a connector, it does not connect the letters after it. Waw not connecting to the kha because what? What's the reason? Because the waw is not connector, does not connect the letters after it. and then the kha in a standard form because there's nothing connected to it, or nothing, it's not connecting to anything after it, or there's nothing connecting to it before it. We'll go on to the last word of the dictation. The last word was مخافوا. مخافوا. The meme with the fatha meh, followed by the kha in its connecting form. مخافوا. Followed the kha followed by the alif connecting to the kha connecting to the alif, because the kha is a connector, it connects to any letter after it, even if the letter is not a connector. The fa not connecting to the alif, because the alif is not a connector, it does not connect to any letter after it. But if the letter, as we said before it, like kha, is a connector, it can connect to it. Then the fa in its standard form, because there's nothing connecting to it or after it, and has the dhamma on top. مخافوا. I'd like to show you something now on the board, just a note. I'd like to note that the way we've been connecting the letters, the form, like here the ta, we've been doing it in the child way, the child form. This way is the child form. The adult form is as you will see in front of you now. I'm telling you this so in the future when you may be reading Quran or something, you will be able to know that the form you're seeing is just a more adult form, nothing more. So you do not get confused. When I was taking the course, not at this university, but another one, I got confused with this concept because I would see it in this form in the course, and then in another way in a book, or perhaps in the Quran or in the hadiths. So the adult form, for example, here the ta. Show you how you would write it in the adult form. We've been writing the child kind of form of writing the letters. The meme in the adult form, what you would do is you would go up a little, then bring the kha, and it's similar to that, of course not quite like that. You would connect it like that. And then the ta, you wouldn't need to go all the way up and then put the two dots. All you would need to do is simply go up a little. Do it like a little bump, then put the two dots. So let me do it again. Let me write it again more clear. This text is very, very bad. Okay, so I said the way we're writing, we're writing it more of the child form. Like for example, the ta here, that's the childish way of writing, and here the kha. Also, I mean when I say childish way, I mean the connecting way. We're connecting it is more of a childish form. The adult form is more like this. As I said, the meme would go up a little, then the kha, then just a little lump for the ta. The adult form, you wouldn't need to go all the way up. For the adult form of writing, you don't need to go all the way up and then put the two dots. only up and then put the two dots. You don't need to do that. Then connect like that. You don't have to do that. All you have to do is go up a little. So you may see that in your reading in the future in the Quran or in the Sunnah or in any other texts. So don't get confused when you see things like that. You will see. Another example is the noon. The noon. For example, here in the course we've been writing the noon when it connects. For example, say it connects after a meme. We've been writing it like this. Then we put the dot. In the adult form, you would see it just a little lump than the dot. So it's not much different. I'm just telling you so you don't get confused, because I got confused when I was the material that the teacher was using in that university, not the one I'm taking my studying my degree in, but the one that I took this course in. I took this course twice. In the university that I'm in now, Knowledge International University, the one I'm taking my studying my BA degree in Islamic Studies, and I also studied this course in another university before it. So the text that the teacher was using was as I'm using here. I'm using the same book that the teacher used in that university, that we used in that university. And I guess the online version of the book of Arabic Reading and Writing Made Easy is this form that I'm using in our courses. But just to let you know that you may find words or letters different than how we've been doing them, because they're the more adult form. Here's the scene, for example. In our course we would have did it like this: the three dots, or the three lumps, and then the ra, say for example. Then we put 3 dots for the sheen. The adult form would have been, you don't need to do 3 big dots, just little dots and then the ra. So it's not much of a difference. The concept isn't much of a difference. It's just trying to keep you clear. So if you see this stuff, this way of writing, so you don't get confused. Another thing is say for example there's a meme, and then we've been writing it like this. We go all the way and then we put the 2 dots under it. That's the child form, I mean. Say that's the then the ra comes after it. The adult form would have been, we don't need to go all the way, just a little up, and then the 2 dots. That's it. So the difference is, that's the adult form, and the more child form of writing, because we were just beginning our course, so we were doing the more child form of writing. And that's the material that I have access to teach this course online. The material of the book that I have access to, that's the form of writing that they use. So it's not much of a difference. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain. Here's the adult form of the 2 dots. Then the more child form is just going up more and a little different. But we said the adult form would have been more like that when connected to, or when connecting and in the middle of a word. So for example, say there's a meme followed by a ta. The way we've been doing it is we would have went up all the way, a bit, and then say it's followed by an alif, we'll put the 2 dots on the ta. The more adult form is just go up a little. You don't need to go up much. Then the 2 dots. Instead of the way we've been doing it, the more child way, going up all more, yani, you know. So this is just to let you know if you see this in the future. That would we've taken 3 new letters in this session. 3 new letters. I think we should wrap up this session. We've done, I think, quite a bit. Give you some break, any time off. You may have felt tired from studies. So I think we'll wrap up this session. Continue on, inshallah, tomorrow or whenever you're able to. Session 8. This is session 7. Tomorrow, inshallah, session 8. So take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.